Okay, so now here's an example of how we are going to identify what the numerical coefficient is for each one of these terms. Okay, so here we've got the term. Remember, the coefficient is the numerical part of the term. Okay, so in this case, the numerical part is 2. So 2 is the coefficient. Okay, here the numerical part is -3. So the coefficient is just that, -3. Here, this is one term, right? So we've got the grouping. So in this case, the coefficient is just 4. Okay, so again, we don't count the 3 here. It's whatever the factor is, right? It's numerical factor. The numerical coefficient is the factor, that's the number. So this is a factor of 4 and the factor of x plus 3. So again, don't use the distributive property here. We're just looking at factors, okay? So we've got 2 factors, and the numerical part of the factor is the numerical coefficient, or what we call the coefficient. Here, we've got a division, right? So again, we're going to separate it into a product of factors, not a quotient. We want to write it as a product. So this we would write as -1/3 times n. Okay, that's the way we would write it. And so that tells us that the coefficient is -1/3. Okay, now here we have another quotient. So again, we're going to write it as a product of factors. So we're going to separate this like so. And so now it's obvious that our coefficient is 2/5. Okay. Now the next one, I added these two because this comes up too. So here we got a -y. Well, in this case here, there's an unwritten 1 here, right? Because this is the same as -1 times y, right? So again, in many times when we're dealing with 1, we don't write the 1, okay? So it's customary it's understood that there's a what we call an understood 1, right? Or an assumed 1 or -1 as a coefficient, right? So this would be a coefficient of -1. And then likewise for this one here, we've got a coefficient of 1, okay? Because again, there's no numerical part that we see, right? That we see, but it's understood that this is going to be 1 times x times y. So the coefficient here is 1, okay? And that's it. Have a great day.